Hey guys, sorry I'm late with this video, but I want to talk about this coming week of games. Got a lot going on. I really wish I had put out my pick for Thursday, although I would have been wrong because I was gonna pick the Broncos, and I want to talk about that game at some point, maybe next video. But right now I'm just gonna go through my predictions for this week. I didn't do too bad last week, actually, pretty good. But this week we're gonna start off with the London game with the Giants at the Packers, but it's in London, so it's not really at Packers. But anyway, I think it's going to be Packers. This is one that Giants, you want to prove you're real. If you want to, go beat the Packers. I mean, that's all you got to. Nobody in the world believes in the Giants right now that are authentic. They're like they've beaten bad teams and they're just floating right now. Bad quarterback play and they're hanging on with Saquon. You want to prove those people wrong? Go beat the Green Bay Packers. Packers. And if you're going to go to the playoffs and make a deep run, you have to beat teams like the Giants. So, but I'm picking the Packers. I think they pull it out. But yeah, picking the Packers. I think it could be a game where the Giants do somehow pull it through, though. So keep an eye on that. Jags versus Texans. I think Jags are going to win. I think they're pretty upset about the Philly game. And my predictions are that Trevor Lawrence will have at least 3 touchdowns in this game, maybe 4. I think this is going to be a blowout. Texans have been close in like every game so far, which is, I mean, it's pretty impressive. This is Texans and Seahawks and the Saints. I would say have pretty. The Saints don't have a bad roster, just a bad quarterback. But the Seahawks and the Texans just have bad rosters, and even the Bears even. But the thing is, the Bears, I mean, they're okay. But the Giants and the Seahawks, not Giants, oh my goodness, the Seahawks and the Texans have outperformed what a lot of people have thought. And I think that's because of coaching. They both, Pete Carroll and Lovie Smith, props to them. They've gotten the most out of their players that they can so far. I don't think it's sustainable. I think they will drop off and show that they're probably the 2 worst teams in the league. But so far, they're playing pretty decent. I mean, Texans don't have a win, but they've been close in every game. But I think they get blown out in this one just because I think Jacksonville is kind of on a roll right now and they're ticked after losing to the Eagles. Anyway, Steelers at Bills. I'm picking the Bills, but I could see the Steelers winning this. You know what? Screw it. I'm picking the Steelers. I'm picking the Steelers. I think that these injuries on the defense of the Bills are playing a huge factor for them. Kenny Pickett should have won last week for the Steelers. He played pretty well, and the defense didn't hold up. Who knew that the defense of the Steelers wouldn't hold up? But I think the defense will hold up against Josh Allen. I think the Dolphins gave you a blueprint of how to do that. And I think Kenny Pickett can facilitate to his guys. I think attacking deep on these backup safeties will be key to the success. And I think that's one thing that he'll do. So I'm picking the Steelers. Yeah. Screw you guys. All right, Chargers versus Browns. I'm going to be picking the Chargers. This is a game the Browns could win, but they lost. I picked the Falcons last week. I thought the Falcons would pull it through, and they did. But the Browns are just kind of a. They're like stocks right now. It's like up and down, up and down. And when Sean gets back, maybe they'll surge. But right now, it's so mediocre. I don't know. This game could go either way. They're getting Myles Garrett back. They could get into Herbert's head with their pass rush because he's still, I think, a little injured right now. But overall, with what they did to the Texans, I think Austin Eckler and Justin Herbert and that offense is going to be firing on all cylinders. I think they take down the Browns. So Bears versus Vikings. This is picking the Vikings. I am very disappointed with the Browns, not Browns, Bears. Um, I really like Justin Fields, and I knew this was going to happen. And a lot of people overhyped him after the preseason. They said Justin Fields looks like the best second-year quarterback in the league. I mean, look at him. Look how he throws. Look at him put up 2 touchdowns in 3, 4 touchdowns, whatever, in preseason on backups in like the last preseason game. And one of my first videos was like, chill. I like Justin Fields, but chill. And he's kind of been what I thought would happen with such a sorry offensive line and receiver core. He needs help. I mean, look at the Jets. Look at the Jags. These teams are not teams that were set off better than you. You were looking for a head coach just like the Jags were. and you hired Eberflus. Jags hired Peterson. You can see the difference. The roster, Jags are now better. But last year, they were probably even. So in one offseason, the Jags, if you ask somebody, they'd be like, oh, definitely Jags have a better roster. In one offseason. Now, this could change next year when the Bears spend heavily in free agency. But for right now, they didn't set Justin Fields up for success. And that's, what is that, coaching malpractice, something like that? Yeah, but they did this. With all that being said, I'm picking the Vikings to win. I think they're just the better team, but that was just my rant. Lions versus Patriots. This is a game where it feels like if Belichick was going to get things going with the Patriots, it would be this kind of game. Patricia is the offensive coordinator for the Patriots, going up against his old team in the Lions. Lions, though, have a really good offense, going up against a good Patriots defense, and that Lions offense is apparently really bad. I'm picking the Lions. But this is one that Bailey Zappi could come out and start slinging it everywhere and just working this Lions defense. They could run all over it. There's a lot of options here. But I'm picking the Lions. I really want them to win this one just because it's the Lions. I'd like to see a feel-good story. But this is a good storylines to this one. We got the Seahawks Saints. I like the... This is a tough one. Because I don't believe in either team. Both teams kind of put up points last week against bad defenses. I'm picking the Saints. Why not? Picking the Saints. I think they have good defense, better defense than the Seahawks. Seahawks offense is, I would say, is on par with the Saints, but Saints have more weapons. If they just get a competent quarterback. Andy Dalton might be better than Jameis Winston right now. I'm gonna just say that. He might be better than Jameis Winston, and I think they'll beat the Seahawks, so I'm picking the Saints. Dolphins at Jets. I'm going to be picking the Jets to do it. Come on, Jets. Go do it. I like Zach Wilson a lot. He didn't do a whole lot last week, in my opinion. He had that last quarter where he really went and kind of won the game for him. But there's throws mingled throughout the whole game where it's just like, that's the second overall pick. That's the guy that I wanted. And then there's there's throws all over the game where it's just like, what's going on? And that's a trend with these quarterbacks, except for Mac Jones. These second-year quarterbacks, we see the same thing with Trevor Lawrence. We see the same thing with Justin Fields. They'll do something. It's just like, that's why they were a first-round pick. And then we'll see them do something. It's just like, why would you do that? And you see that with Zach Wilson. Almost turned it over a couple times to the Steelers. But I really believe in him. I believe in this Jets team. I think they got a lot of potential. And I think they can win this one. Dolphins, a lot of people think they're going to be handicapped with Teddy Bridgewater at quarterback. I don't think they will be. I think he actually adds more to their offense and takes away a little bit. So I think the actually short to intermediate, I think that, well, not really short, but the intermediate, I think that's actually like Tua's bread and butter. Something that he can put it on a line, on like a slant or something like that. That's what Tua's really good at. Teddy Bridgewater can be good at that too, but he's not. For some reason, when I watch Teddy, I don't think he's as quick as Tua with that kind of stuff. But Teddy Bridgewater has a bigger arm than Tua and can throw it deeper. So you're going to see, there was that underthrow by Tua last week that was picked off, and almost the same play, Teddy Bridgewater got like a touchdown, or maybe it wasn't a touchdown, but a deep pass to Tyreek Hill. So he's going to add a lot to this offense, and but I still think the Jets pull it out because I think they're really believing in Zach Wilson right now. Falcons at Buccaneers. I'm picking the Buccaneers. Falcons could come away and win this game. Buccaneers need receivers right now. It is so tough watching their offense because Brady has no receivers right now. Godwin's coming back. You saw him make some plays against the Chiefs, but ultimately they couldn't gather their footing again. But they need receivers. Somebody help Brady out. He's going through a lot right now. Somebody get him receivers. Julio Jones get back healthy. I don't know what's going on with Mike Evans, but he's like hurt every year. Same with Chris Godwin, though. But yeah, I'm picking the Buccaneers. Hey, props to the Falcons over being 2-2. Titans at Commanders. This one is tough. I think it could go either way. I do think Jeffrey Simmons is going to be too much for that Commanders offensive line to handle because their offensive line is terrible right now. They have a lot of offensive weapons, but not the time to get it to them. The Titans defense is actually pretty solid, and Ryan Tannehill is, in my opinion, having his best year. I mean, from what I've seen. In past years, it seemed like the rest of the team was carrying him. He was making throws to wide open guys, make the plays he had to, in a sense. Now it seems like there's nobody open, and he is fitting it where only his guy can get it. And I've never seen Ryan Tannehill do that, and I don't, it's kind of surprising. I was like, I've never seen Ryan Tannehill do this. Where has this been? But I'm picking the Titans to win this one. I think that they have a better defense. Uh, yeah, I think they have a better defense. I think they have a better offense right now, functionally, even though they lost Taylor Lewan. I think they can still win this. Derrick Henry is still there. And I think they can go out and beat the Commanders. 49ers and Panthers, I think I'm going 49ers. Panthers have been so disappointing. Baker's been so disappointing. He's going to be the next Mitchell Trubisky of some of the teams going to be like, we'll take a shot on him, but we're going to draft a quarterback to develop behind him. That's kind of happening right now with Matt Corral, except for he's hurt. But that's what, I mean, I think he's done. I hate to say it. I like Baker, but also that offensive line is terrible. But here's the problem. When I was watching the Cardinals and Panthers game, there were throws where a guy was open, Baker found him. Good. But he would overthrow it. And that's the problem. When they're, like, you can say there's not enough protection, it's messing with them. But the thing is, when there's protection and there's an open receiver and there's nothing interfering with your throw and you miss it, that's on you. And it happened multiple times. That's why I don't believe in Baker at the moment anymore, because he's just let me down. So I think that the 49ers come out, run all over the Panthers, even though their defense is pretty good. I just think that the 49ers can pull this one through. Cowboys versus Rams. This is a good game. It could go either way. Cooper Rush has just he's played good enough to win. I mean, people will say QB controversy. There's no controversy. But I'm going to pick in the Rams. Roster-wise, I would pick the Cowboys. But I'm picking Sean McVay. I really believe in Sean McVay. He's always shown us that we can always trust him. If something's going wrong, he'll fix it and turn it around. He does it every year. So this is the time where he can do that. So I'm picking the Rams. And I think that there are quarterbacks around the league that are saving their coach's job right now. Right now it's Cooper Rush for some reason. Because Mike McCarthy's he's so bad. I mean, doesn't look like Baker's going to save Matt Rule right now. Nate Hackett might be on the hot seat. But there's just QBs all over that, like, they're playing out of their mind. Like, Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor he's not doing well. It's so vanilla with so many good playmakers. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, moving on. Eagles at Cardinals. I'm picking the Eagles to win this. I am waiting for a game to say this team is going to want to upset Philly, give them their first loss. But I cannot, in good faith, pick the Cardinals to do that. The Cardinals, in my opinion, are pretty bad. They've beaten bad teams, and the moment they almost like Cardinals last year when they play a good team, they're not good. They're not the same. So I'm picking the Eagles. Bengals versus Ravens. Great game. Can't wait to see it. Picking the picking the Ravens. I think this is one. I don't know if Ronnie Stanley's going to be playing or not. He's in the building now, or he's kind of back. I'm not sure, but if he plays, that's huge for Lamar Jackson. But overall, I mean, Ravens defense is playing really bad, and I really don't know why. They have so much talent. Pass rush isn't great, but on the back end, they have so much talent, and that's like the worst part of the team. It doesn't make any sense to me. Offensively, Lamar Jackson's playing out of his mind, MVP level. And Joe Burrow is good, but that offense is not clicking right now. I have no idea what's going on. I think it's probably Zach Taylor's fault, to be honest. Also, that offensive line is terrible when they spent so much money on. And that defense, though, for the Bengals is pretty solid. So that's good for building on. But I'm picking the Ravens to win this. This is just one of those games that I don't have a lot of faith that the Bengals offense will be able to move the ball in the Ravens defense. Even though they did that on the Dolphins, I think this might be the bounce back game for that defense. Anyway, Raiders at Chiefs. I'm a dare to be different. Raiders. Do I have anything to support my pick? Not really. I just feel like the Raiders need to get. I mean, they just won last week, but I think this is just one of those games where it just feels like the Chiefs should win, but they're not gonna. So I'm picking the Raiders. Really no foundation for that, but yeah, I want to talk about the Broncos and the Hackett for a bit, so I'm gonna do it in the next video though. But hit like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. See you guys.